Hey Bim, 2019 to 2020 year group. I hope you're all keeping very well. It was great to see you all again in person and online this week. Well, only online only in person for the songwriters, but for the rest of you, it was great to see you all online in my essential development skills class and my music business class. For those of you who are in that class with me, so it's time again to do another Masterclass for you. But before I get on to that, I just have a few announcements to make. The first announcement I want to make is that this is now the beginning of the second half of my very first album that I'm planning to release in the near future, because the plan is to have 13 tracks, and I've now done the first 7 for you, and because 7 is pretty much half of 13, well, 7 is kind of half of 14, and 7 is pretty much the middle number. I kind of feel now I should have ended the previous class in which I say I will now be doing the second half of the class when we resume after midterm break. So I just thought I'd say it now. And what I thought I'd do for the second half is maybe to try and get you guys in my year group to ask me a couple of questions you may have about the song. Like who might be perfect to play on that certain track. Like who'd be good to play drums on the track or whatever. Or if you have any question about the lyrics in case you don't get some of them. So, well, of course, it's only a suggestion. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Okay, so it's time for the next Masterclass episode, and this one is for 40 Days and Nights of Opera. So again, I'll talk to you about how I got the lyrics. I'll give you the title. Well, firstly, I'll tell you how I got the title. I'll give you some of the lyrics, and I'll give you a bit of the music. And, of course, some on the keyboard here. Right, so the title, 40 Days and Nights of Opera. I called it 40 Days Nights of Opera because on one note I was very inspired by the Muddy Waters track 40 Days and 40 Nights, and the way he goes 40 days and 40 nights, so I was very inspired to have something with the word 40 in it, and I kind of thought, why not? I thought I'd use the word 40 for that one, and then also Bruce Springsteen used that title in the song Maria's Bed from his 2005 record Devils and Dust, which just passed its 15-year anniversary this year, which is like a decade and a half, which sadly gets ruined this year because of the current situation we're living in at the moment. And so for my one, 40 Days Nights of Opera, I kind of thought I'd use 40 days and nights of something, and then the one word that consistently came to my mind was opera. And because this one is based on the song Gospel Plow that Bob Dylan did on his very first album, and because gospel is a genre of music and so is opera, I thought I'd use 40 days and nights of a certain music genre, and then the one word that consistently came to my life was opera. So I thought I'd call it 40 Days and Nights of Opera, because sometimes I feel with gospel and opera singers, they work perfectly in the church. So that's how I got the title 40 Days and Nights of Opera. So now you know the whole story of me getting the title. Now, for the lyrics. The opening line I have in this one is, if you're practicing in an opera style, you better learn how to sing. And what that means is that it basically means that opera is a very difficult genre to sing in a style of, because you have to be like a tenor. It's like vocals. Me as a baritone, I'm just in the mid-reg, so I'm kind of in like my mid-reg from being on the low notes to the high notes. But because that's what I see myself as. And that's why most tenors are opera singers. Like I think the only great opera singer in my life was Russell Watson. But even though he does speak in English, like he did a cover of "You Raise Me Up," which I think is an amazing version. And I do like his first album, The Voice, which had his cover of Nella Fantasy, which is very opera sounding. Now, of course, opera isn't obviously my thing, but I do like it though, but it's just not my thing. I don't think there's any genre of music that I hate, aside from rap and metal in particular. So, that's that one. So basically, you have to learn to sing in opera, because it's very tough. And then I have another line that goes, especially if you're singing it in the season of spring. Spring, because I think opera music works very well in the springtime. Like the way I see a lot of contemporary pop music suitable in the summertime Like, I think contemporary pop music suits the summertime, whereas opera music sometimes suits the springtime. Um, then another. So that's just some part of the verse for you. As I said, I'll leave the first verse in the chat below so you can sing along with it when I play it on the keyboard and play a bit on the guitar. And what else? Okay, so that's that one. Then for the chorus, I have a line that goes, "I may not be a fan of the old opera sound." What that means is, as I said before, opera is not my thing, but I do like it. And then the singing in that style sounds a lot like my hound. Like, I sometimes imagine when female opera singers do their whistle high notes, it kind of sounds like a dog whimpering. And it doesn't necessarily happen for male dogs, but I tend to picture animals making that sound effect, especially the whistling sound effect. Not when they're singing in the normal tenor range. Then the next line I have is, we all have different music tastes, so everyone is different to me, meaning that everyone has a different taste in music, which is fine, but it's just opera is something that I don't really care for. But as I said, I do like it. I think I'll tell you the best opera styles I've ever heard was this. Now I'm going back to October in 2008. I was visiting my dad's side of the family, and on the way we were listening to. I was listening to a mini CD that came in the Daily Mail, and it was called Tenors Take 10, and it had some of the best opera voices ever. Like, it had Will Martin doing Going Home, and it had Jonathan Ansel doing that song, which the title escapes me at the moment, but it's a very good song. And I like Blake's, and there was also Blake with Time to Say Goodbye as well. And then also Alec Jones' version of Ave Maria. So it just shows that opera can be a good genre, but obviously not my thing. But overall, it's still pretty good. And then I have another line in that song that goes, and then the next bit after, we're all very different to me, so everyone's different to me. I then have, I'd never challenge anyone to be tied to a tree, meaning that I wouldn't, I wouldn't be fighting with anyone who liked opera music. I'd be like, if you like opera music, that's fine, because remember, everybody has a different taste in music. I just don't care for it as much. And I keep on repeating myself saying that. But overall, as I said, it's still really good. And then I have, if you have a performance to practice, better do 40 days and nights of opera, which basically means that it can take weeks to put on a opera performance. So I feel with 40 days and 40 nights, you have to give yourself at least a month and a half, which is nearly like 6 weeks, I presume. Right, so that's just the first verse for you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some of the music for you. So, based on gospel plows, so I just need to get my harmonica. Luckily I have the harmonicas here this time. And the neck holder. Take out my G harmonica. Okay, so here's the D. Okay. Right, so as I said, this was based on Gospel Plowed by Bob Dylan, music. So in his one, he's more like this. So he has like that, whereas I, in my own song, have it like this. In fact, on the original recording, I didn't actually use a harmonica because I didn't have this B harmonica here. Okay, so I didn't have the B harmonica, but I'll play the song for you twice. I mean, not twice, but I'll play it. So basically, okay, I'll play it for you now. I can pretend I have the harmonica on here. When I send you the link for the original recording, you will notice that I'll have the you can hear the song then. So, my one is more like this. It's like, okay, mine's more like this. Like that, and then I have a chorus, and the chorus for some reason reminds me of some other songs. I'll play them for you. So my chorus goes like this. I'm gonna give it a practice. Okay, it goes like this. It goes, I may not be a fan of the old opera sound. So that's the chorus, and for some reason, when I played it for some reason reminds me of the Monkeys tracks, Sunny Girlfriend, that Mike Nesbitt sings. So his one was like the whereas mine was more, I may not be a fan of the old opera sound. But to make it different, I wanted to kind of speed it up a bit because it's a more up-tempo kind of song, this one. So that's how I got the title. I gave you some of the lyrics and some of the chords. Now what I'm going to do is play it on the organ for you. I mean, not the organ, the keyboard. So I'll take my guitar off for a second. And get this. Whoops. I just said oops because I almost split the table leg apart. Like legs of the keyboard apart. Let's just like this. Okay. So I just need to set the tempo to 130 beats per minute. And I think I'll try it on 8 and see what the rhythm is like. Just give me a second. Okay, so just going to turn the volume up just a little bit. If it's too loud, I'll turn it down. Okay, let's just try again. Nah, a bit too loud, so I'll turn it down. Maybe I'll turn it down to 11. Try now. Maybe one more. Yeah, that's perfect. So, as I said, guys, I'll give you some of the music on here. So, I'll try again. Hold on. Try again. Sing along. Now, I think some of the chords may be messed up a bit, but as I said, I'll leave the first verse below so you can check it out. So now what I'll do is try it on the keyboard and see what it's like. I haven't decided which tone I'm going to use yet. And I forgot to ask at the start of this, are we still bored? Yeah, totally. This is why I want to spend more time with you, year group from 2019 to 2020, because I've missed you all very badly over these last 8 months, but at least I got to see some of you during that time. But as they said, hopefully after these last 5 weeks of term, we'll hopefully be back together in person full time, but we don't know yet. So let's go. Let me sing now. I'll just try maybe turn the volume down a bit on this one. That should be alright. Maybe I'll change the tone to electric guitar and see what it's like. Okay, let's give it a go. So let's see what it's like on the keyboard and then we'll leave it at that. Sorry. Pretty good. I love it. So I'll just turn the keyboard off. So there you go. That's the masterclass for 4 days night of opera. Hope you all enjoyed it very much. And one last thing before we wrap it up for today is that it's getting very dark early, as we all know. So that's why you may have noticed that most of the rest of these classes are probably going to take place now with my lights on, just because it is getting very dark. So anyway, thank you very much for tuning into this masterclass. And as I said, I'll put the lyrics in front of you if you want to sing along with them. I know I kind of messed up a little bit because I haven't looked at that song in a while, but hopefully someday I can get some of you BIM students in my 2019 to 2020 year group to come along and have a jam with it sometime. As I said, I can get some of you guys to help me with my assessment in January. And as I said, I'll give you the full criteria for when the time does come for it. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again on Monday.